I believe there are two reasons to lose the passion for your favorite hobby, and the first one is you found something new which drives your energy levels to the roof, and that can be love or some new activity, which is really great spot to be. But the second one is your everyday bad habits, which really drain your energy and drag you in that dark place, and some serious work have to be done. In that last video I told you how I had a moment in my life which I've lost my passion for racing and sim racing, hitting the rock bottom, but fight back and get my life in order to become again what I was before. And that was short romantic story which sound very motivating for many people, but the truth is this is nothing but cheap spike of dopamine which will lead you exactly nowhere. What happened to me before is happening or will happen to every single one of us, and it's not pleasant place to be, but there is a way out, and I found it for myself fairly quickly and can definitely point you some great directions which may change your life in the way you can't imagine, or at least I had way lower expectations. I also know most of the supporters in this channel are between 35 and 65, so some of you experience already those symptoms and some of you are heading in that direction. Just for a context, let me tell you who am I and how my week looks like. I'm born in Bulgaria, and from my 20s I move around the world, being 11 years in Greece, 2 years in London, and the last 11 years in Germany. And in every country I move with few bucks in my pocket, build the life I want, for different reasons and circumstances lost it, moved to another one, new place, new work, new language. All this may sound really harsh, but it was always a conscious decision to make it harder than it is, because for some reason I believed it will help me mentally, as my surviving instinct must kick in. It is easy to say that those few restarts really give me the confidence I have now, as I'm not anymore afraid of losing everything and start really once over again, because life is full of surprises and anything can change at any given moment. However, what happened to me 5 years ago was something that other people warning me over and over again, but I used to believe it will never happen to me because I'm strong and resilient. But biology is biology, and if we fuck with it, we have to pay the price. So I had rebuilt the life I want, but I was unhappy, lethargic, really lack of energy or any motivation to do the things I really enjoy doing. I had the car I want, I had the awesome rig, I had the money to rent rally car and do some events, but what I didn't have was the motivation to do that. I was waiting the weekends to do the things I love, but I spent them in my dark room doing absolutely nothing. And I remember thinking about those people who told me I will feel exactly like that once I hit my 40s. I was getting angry for really no reason, for small everyday little things in life. I was just dragging myself through the day with that very low energy levels, and even being super tired. In the evenings, my brain just refused to shut down, and I had to eat like big chunk of chocolate to crush myself, and the mornings were even harder as I had to repeat all this shit again. I wasn't obese, probably around 90 kilos, as my work is very active, but I had crazy joint pains, headaches in the weekends, gut bloating, and my reflux couldn't keep the food in my stomach when I lay in the bed. But you remember I had problems to sleep without crushing myself with tons of carbs. You get the picture. No energy, lack of motivation, anger for no reason, pain, headaches, different health issues. Now, let me tell you who I become, and I even continue optimizing myself in the last 5 years. I'm UPS driver, and one of those drivers who helps or replaces those who are missing. This is usually very exhausting work mentally and physically, as every day is different and there is zero routine. I have to think from where I start and where to finish. Those 90 to 100 deliveries, which some of those are with strict appointments, and getting late cost like 12 to 30 euro penalty. It is well paid work, but super intensive as I fight with the time, and is the only work I ever had in which time is passing like crazy and I wish to slow it down. I also do between 12 to 15k steps each day. For some people this work is like nightmare, but I love it, and just with one little mental switch I make it the most healthiest part of my daily routine and get paid for it. However, after work I have to take care of 3 different hobbies, and one is the YouTube channel in which I spend around 30 to 40 hours weekly, which includes testing different gear, making deep research, coming with conclusion, writing the script, take the necessary video shoots and edit the video. Those are 30-40 hours intense mental work spread through the working days and finish it in the weekends. I make it sound like a work, but it's actually a hobby I really enjoy, and the biggest reward for me is the connection with you guys. And for those who think YouTube makes money, for the 160 hours I physically spend per month, this channel probably creates between $300 and $500, which is like ridiculous $2 per hour, and if I spend that the same amount of time in my work, I will get a lot more. Money is not the drive, your love and support are. I finally have the chance to connect with thousands of people who share the same passion. Next hobby, of course, is the sim itself. Fortunately, testing the gear is also the moment I enjoy driving, and probably spend like 10-20 hours weekly off season. And when our league races start, which are usually 2-3 months in the year, I spend like 3-4 hours daily to just become competitive. And the last hobby is my fitness routine, which is around 3-4 times per week and take about an hour each. As you can see, it looks like a very busy week, and that is not including all the other life responsibilities, which are a lot. But let's go back to the main point of the video. How I managed to fix myself from low energy and weak mental state 42 years old fucker to 47 full of energy and happy person. If I have one gift in my character, that will be my curiosity about how things actually work, and when I understand the mechanism, then I can follow rules and really optimize. When I hit the rock bottom, and it was in the state that people warning me for years before, I really wanted to understand what's the actual mechanism and what's the cause. I started looking into biology, and the first important thing I discovered was the insulin impact of the energy levels. I found that the insulin is not just responsible to take the sugar from the bloodstream, but it's also a storage hormone, and when it's high, basically every other hormone have to shut up. Now imagine starting my day with 3 teaspoons of sugar in my coffee, drinking all day long soft drinks with sugar, and eating high carbs processed food. I basically run my body in safe mode for my entire existence, and as I was feeling low energy all the time, my brain was asking me for more sugar, making me believe we'll fix the problem. This is disastrous, addictive behavior. I'm not here to give you medical advices, as I'm not the qualified person to do that, but let me tell you the results from me stopping some really bad behaviors and starting choosing very carefully my meals. For the first 4 months I totally cut the sugar and minimized the carbs, start eating only between 1 and 7 p.m. and guess what happened? My reflux healed, bloatings and joint pains disappear, my energy levels went to the roof, and my moods were all positive, and that bring the motivation for doing things back. And side benefits. First time in my life, I saw my pack. Oh, that sounds great and motivating, isn't it? Well, between those 2 stages, things are not fun at all. For about 2 weeks, I had brutal headaches and my head were going to explode, and there was no painkiller which could help. The sugar craving were absolutely insane, and it was like I'm trying to get clean from drugs. The voice in my head was trying to convince me to eat something sweet for the last time, and my meals were really boring. Vegetables, meat, fish, cheese, eggs, and all that again and again and again. Things were not fun at all, but once I start feeling the effects, things just become that much easier. On the 5th month, I start adding some healthy carbs like potatoes, rice, nuts, fruits, and gain some weight back and make my meals a bit more fun to consume while feeling still those top energy levels. As I was feeling better and better, I just continued looking for optimizations, and I found how important it is to sleep well. If I deprive myself from sleep, my moods were really bad and my head voice started asking for tasty sweet shit. Later I found that subconsciously I was searching for cheap dopamine hoping to fix my moods. And then I found how dopamine works and I become that much more wise with my daily choices. How you think I found all that time working normal job, 45 hours per week, plus another 40 hours for YouTube hobby, plus 20 hours sim racing, plus fitness 4 times in a week, without sacrificing 7-8 hours of good sleep? Well, I cut the phone screen time, stopped the short shitty videos and in general the social media, and use it only to connect with you and for some actual researches for things which will optimize my existence. Dopamine is the real deal if it's managed well, and even if I listen to my favorite music for 2 hours can drain my motivation for the rest of the day, even if at the moment feels like very motivational. If I have work to do, I won't use music to get motivation, but will push myself to start the job, and when I get it done, that's the point where my dopamine will spike and will make me feel better. When I've said in the previous video that my love for racing saved me many times, in this particular case was my compass. It was the moment of realization that something is very wrong when my biggest passion have zero meaning, and that was scary. It is not about some romantic power, but about the fear of losing my drive for life. If you want to admit it or not, motivational videos and talks are absolute trash for long-term hard work. What will really give us the strong drive is the fear and failure. As I've said, I'm not trying to give you medical advices, but if you face some of the problems I had before, things are not lost and there is way out. It is not fun process and is never-ending battle with ourselves, but the grass is very green on the other side. I will share some important videos about dopamine, insulin and sleep, which can get you hooked, and I will wait for you on the other side where even small things have enormous meaning. Or you can stay miserable with your small cheap pleasures and enjoy the pathetic existence. Choice is yours. Much love, everyone.